Good morning, good evening, everyone. Onegaishimasu. I hope everyone is feeling really fine today. I would like to read this morning our first Shoshu, our motto. Let us experience universal mind that loves and protects all creation and helps all things grow and develop. To know the unification of our mind and body and be one with the universe is the ultimate purpose of our study. The four major principles to unify mind and body. Number one, we rest in the one point in the lower abdomen. Number two, we are completely relaxed. Number three, our weight is naturally underside. And number four, our ki extends infinitely in all directions. Excuse me. So Toi Sensei in this Shokushu is describing our state of mind body when we are in unification. Or, in other words, when we are experiencing a sense of deep calmness. When we have a sense of deep calmness, of course, we have a mind of equanimity. And mind leads body. The primary principle of Shinjin Tuatsu Aikido is mind leads body. So when we use our mind a certain way, we feel very calm in our body. And we've learned in our practice again and again that how we use our attention dictates the degree of calmness that we experience in our body. In other words, well, when we're sitting in meditation, we're practicing paying attention, right? So, but there's attention and then there's attention. So, of course, you can pay attention to any old thing. You can pay attention to trying to figure something out. And this is not what we mean by strengthening our attentive capacity. We can daydream and wish for things that we love to have. That's paying attention, but it's collapsing our attention down to one small thing and worrying over it or reveling in it, one of the two. So the trouble begins when the object of our attention becomes the most important thing, not the attention to our object. This is very important. We often, very often, focus when we're meditating on an object. And we feel like we're paying attention because we're focusing on that object. And we feel that ought to bring us calmness, but we don't experience a deep state of calmness because we're not experiencing the attention, the awareness. It's the state of mind that we call awareness, what Mother Teresa calls listening, right? What Toi Sensei calls awareness of the universal condition, he means. It's just awareness of awareness. So we're sitting in awareness. I sometimes I call it objectless awareness, but it doesn't mean that there's no object. That awareness is awareness of nothing. You don't want to try to have awareness of nothing either, because then you're only having awareness of yourself. Then yourself becomes the object. Yourself meditating becomes an object, and that's more important than the awareness. No. This is why Toi Sensei, I love his comment about one point. We rest in the lower part of our abdomen. It doesn't say we rest in our head, or we rest in our thoughts, or we rest in our worries, or we rest in what's fun for us. Or it doesn't mean either that we're focusing on the one point. It means we're just resting in the state of awareness in our whole mind and body, the center of which is the one we call the one point in the lower abdomen. So when we're meditating, we are practicing building our attentive capacity. That means not our ability to pay attention to any old thing, but our ability to rest in attentive awareness altogether. And so we practice first key breathing, and then we progress. That's why we do this sequence to key meditation, Kakadaya Hoshichuo, which is basically taking and sending. And then number 3, we finally progress to whole body meditation, which is pure awareness of everything in our field of awareness. So please enjoy. Let's begin with some deep breathing. Okay. Let's remember that our state of body directly reflects our state of mind. And our opponent's state of body directly reflects our opponent's state of mind. And our opponent's state of mind reflects our state of mind. This is what Toi Sensei means when he says, when you're doing Shinjin Tutsu Aikido, mind leads body. Okay, so let me hear you say something about this instead of me talking about it so much. Would anyone like to make a comment or ask a question about this? This is pretty fundamental to our practice. I'm sure you're very familiar with it and know all the pitfalls that surround this principle, like trying to control our state of mind, which destroys our state of mind. Things like that. How's it going for you? Someone more like not so advanced. I don't know. How about someone like Prakash Makai has his hand up, I see.
Yeah. Sensei, your languaging of the key meditation as giving and receiving really helped me this morning, because I've always had difficulty with contraction, expansion, because contraction always feels like tension to me. But giving and receiving, it really opened up the space for me this morning. Thank you for that.
Great. Yeah, just out of self-defense, I've had to learn to look at this a little differently because of the same reason. Well, more what you say, but also most students, it seems like, have trouble with Kakudayo and Shucho, expansion and concentration or collecting, because it's a mechanical thing and it references the physical universe too strongly so that everybody is into city, country, planet, solar system, star, and so forth, instead of releasing, surrendering, giving up everything and letting it all disperse, or receiving all the blessings of, of this life. So yeah, it's a nice way of thinking. Okay, thank you. Someone else talk about mind-body unification, maybe. Aliona,
Hello, Sensei. Hello, everyone.
hello.
Sensei, I do I understand correctly that if we pay attention to an object, that we lose attention? But, can you tell about more? Because as I understand, our partner is an object. I,
Well, that's a really good question. Yes, have you ever heard the term in English, objectifying someone? So that's what we do when we pay attention just to the object, when we make them a physical object other than separate from us. So really, when we say, for instance, when we say extend ki, osaru, we really mean include everything in our world of experience, not exclude anything. Make everything, in other words, unify with everything. Don't let anything be separate, even if it means to harm you, and so appears in our life as an opponent. We don't objectify them. We don't see them as an object. In other words, we don't collapse our attention down exclusively on this one thing, but we listen, we look, we see, we hear, we're open to everything. It's like Toy Sensei always gives the example of when someone is holding our wrist. What do we want to move? We want to move our wrist because that's where we're being held. And then he loves to do this because then he says you can move, all the other directions, but you only want to move this one place where you can't. And then he dances around you and ties you in a knot and you end up on the mat. Because he's free, we're free to move. It's just that our attention, this object, by objectifying something, we lose our awareness of everything except that one thing. That's what I mean by collapsing our awareness down on it. We lose everything else. So the world of possibility is then extremely limited to that which we cannot do. What a crazy thing it is. But that's the way our sort of fight or flight instinct in us that we're born with operates if we're not in awareness. So we practice meditation to practice awareness. That's why when I talk about meditation, I want to emphasize so much this business of what is true awareness, so that we don't think when someone is standing in front of us, insulting us or attacking us, either emotionally or physically in some way, we don't think our whole universe is them. We don't lose our state of mind-body unification. We don't become a victim Don't you think so? You already knew that, Aliona, I'll bet.
Thank you, Sensei.
Thank you. Okay, someone else, please. I can't see all of you, so speak up if you want to say something.
Sensei, this is Kayomi. Good
Hi.
morning. I have a question about what you just said. You said if someone is like, let's say, emotionally attacking, I feel like someone is emotionally attacking, and don't collapse to the person by objectifying it. But sometimes I feel like if I don't protect I feel like I need to protect myself. Like I feel like poison coming into me, and if I feel like if I open to that, it feels like it is harmful to my body. So in this case, how do I not to get receiving those and still be open? If you could
Okay.
help me with that, please.
Thank you. That's a really good question, which we all come in contact with all the time, right? So when someone is attempting to affect you, they're looking for you to do just exactly what you described. They want to frighten you. They want you to oppose them. See, when you are frightened of them and you protect yourself and you stay away and you say no to them, that's opposition. That reads to them as opposition. So now they've got you in their clutches. So now you've made them the center of your universe, which is exactly what they wanted. So instead of giving them that, when I say open, I mean make yourself available to support them. No one can stand in the face of no opposition. No opposition can maintain itself when there is nothing opposed to it. It evaporates. That's what Toysonse means when he says, my state of mind affects the opponent's state of mind. When I don't have fear and victimhood, if I don't have defensiveness, if I'm open and willing to support and curious about what the problem is here, then of course it completely changes, excuse me, the dynamic of the partner, of the other person. It might not make their objection go away, but they'll approach it differently. You'll approach it together. So then you connect. And then between you, you find some third thing that neither of you would have ever discovered in opposition to each other. That's the beauty of Aikido. It's not easy to do. So that's why we have to practice so much meditation and keep reading, because learning to maintain a state of calmness by maintaining correct attention. That's why I brought up today. That's why I brought this up today. Because many, many people go through years of meditation. True, but maybe don't ever really understand or experience true calmness in the midst of conflict, because they aren't really practicing proper attention. True attention, true awareness. My teacher, Suzuki Sensei, used to say, well, many of you had him as a teacher also. So you know he would always say, it's all about awareness, fellas. He called everybody fellas, whether they were men or women. It's all about awareness, fellas. And that's what he meant. It's all about awareness. everything is, I hate to use the word controlled, but yes, awareness really controls our state of mind. And so then it means that it doesn't necessarily control other people's state of mind, but we don't let them control our state of mind. So automatically they have to adjust to that somehow. And usually that means their sense of opposition and maybe their anger changes, alters. Very important.
Thank you, Sensei.
Yes, okay. Well, thank you, everyone. So may I remind you that in 1 hour at 9 o'clock Hawaii time, we will begin the special Spanish monthly class. So you're all welcome to attend if you wish. Don't worry, got to miss that much time.